welcome.
Alright, we're going to be having a conversation. And I really want to start with you because somehow, some people say it's much more easier for the ladies, to create some things to spice up the relationship. But for the men, they are actually looking and saying, I beg, I have to make money for the family to stay together. You understand? For you, is it... you're already laughing. Is it actually important, to spice up the relationship? Is there at any point in time in a relationship that can really be boring for the man?
Absolutely. I mean, relationship is like anything else. Everything in life. Let's say you have your favorite soup prepared. After a while, what happens to it? It gets stale, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have your favorite meal prepared, if you have your garden, maybe you have it dressed up, and then after a while, weed would grow. And so life generally, there's this law in life generally that is like, if you leave things as they are, after a while they get stale. All right. And so the same thing applies to relationship. And so yes.
So men also get bored in relationship.
I mean, absolutely.
Okay.
They may not admit it, and they may not come up and say, "Okay, yes, I'm getting bored in the relationship," but somehow they begin to express it differently, in different ways. And by the time you walk them through it, they'll then realize that, oh, it's actually because I think I'm feeling bored in the relationship. But at first, that may not be what they are responding to. But by the time you probe further, you then realize that it's because there is staleness in the relationship. So everybody gets bored.
Okay, I'll come back to you because you have to tell us some things, that you think should be done as a man. Because sometimes we ladies or the women are not doing it the way you feel, What's your definition of excitement is?
So that's still related to poverty.
But Victoria, there is, at the beginning of the relationship, children are not there. We understand, I want to be close to organ, all those things and all that and all that. It also happens before the marriage, yeah. But at the point where children starts coming in, do you think that there is still that dull moment aside the children in that relationship?
Of course, there are a lot of activities that could take away every attention from their relationship. They could be busy with work, with children, and everything will just become monotonous. Just like once you wake up, you know what to do by a particular time, and everything becomes very boring and very ordinary. So there is a tendency, if you don't deliberately work on your relationship, there is this tendency that the relationship will just go very sour and still.
So with all the children, wahala and all that, it cannot still make you excited in that relationship.
It's not everybody that wants children. It's not everybody that loves children. There are some men that will say, oh, let the children be asleep before I come back. Yeah. So every family is different. Every individual is different. Some people are excited when they have children. They're like, oh, let's go out together. Let's do this together. Some women, yes, because they are the one that actually carry those children during pregnancy and all that. So there's a tendency to be closer to your children. But even with children, yes, their home can also become very boring.
Okay. Let me additional to what you just said.
Okay.
I think that will be
we'll go on a quick break. After this, I'll give you this small question, a small one.
Stay
all right.
Connect all the dots. Lights, camera, sound, action. It's here. MTN5G, it's here. The MTN wonder. The wonder of cards. No. This is how your life is supposed to go. The wonder of MTN 5G has a
Boss FM 95.5.
Alright, studio. On you.
All right, you're still listening to Love City. It's good to have all of you in the city of love right here. I was about asking Boss Victoria a question before we actually went on that quick commercial break. Then the question comes now. I said it's a very small one. She asked a question. She asked Boss Fred a question the first time. And let me make that question come to you this time. When we talk about a relationship being boring. When a relationship is being boring, who noticed it first? Who gives more attention? Who knows first that this relationship is becoming boring? Because as it is, this one is this one is this one is this one is just putting face somehow because something is going wrong and all these things. Who take cognizance of this boringness first in the relationship?
It depends.
Okay.
Some people in some marriages or in some relationship, it's the women that notice first, and in some other relationship, it's the men that notice first. Like for me, when I got married, it was me that noticed first. Yes.
I like Grace.
In fact,
I
it
like
was
Grace. I like Grace. In fact,
after some
in
months,
fact.
I was like, why is it so one way? I know when we wake up, we know you're going to work. After work is church. After work, after church is house. Everything was just the same. So I had to call my husband. Oh boy, is this how boring marriage is? I was like, everything is just the same. You wake up, you rush out, you come in, you pray, you sleep. I was like, this is boring, no. But thank God he's somebody that can understand me. And then we had to plan, and then we started saying, okay, we'll have to do some things, dates and nights and some other things, going out. And
you will tell us the fun.
I love this testimony. I love this testimony. Someone is learning very seriously. Serious. In fact.
So you have more to say?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, go
So
ahead,
it's those intentional, deliberate actions and decisions we took at that early stage that's still helping us now. But imagine if we didn't notice, we just started fighting against each other. Oh, you don't have my time. Oh, this. You know, a lot of people have different ways of expressing themselves. And sometimes this is what brings boringness and issues. Maybe a woman is just expressing herself that, oh, the marriage is now becoming boring. She might not use the word boring. She might just say, you don't have my time. You're always busy with work. You come back late than usual. And before you know it, you understand each other and you make out time. Then you start planning. How do you become better? How does your marriage become better? You start making deliberate actions. And before you know it, you come back again and that love is spiced up.
Okay. Boss Frederick, we're going to go on another break now. This break is but calm down. We'll go on another break. And before then, I just want to ask I want to just give an answer. Now, some people said that the women are the ones that seek attention most. And Boss Victoria here said she wasn't that noticed first. The attention was not so enough. Do you agree that the women just have a way of seeking attention more than the men? It's a yes or no answer. We'll continue it after the break.
It's actually an obvious answer.
Obvious answer.
And everybody knows it.
Everybody knows it.
Everybody.
It's a big fat yes.
Yes.
We are going to come back. You are going to defend this
With a
answer.
long tail.
But that'll be after this break. Stay
Stay
focused.
first.
Tuning in, this is Boss FM 95.5 Abuja, the station that knows news and entertainment, and that is because we have the bossy staff of authority based on special standards. You are on to Love City, and I tell you that this table this evening,
We are not shaking tables.
we are not shaking the table though.
Yeah, you know
Even
what
though
we're
some
talking
people
about.
want to shake the table, they want to break the leg of the table, but we're not shaking
The table has 3 legs now, in case you don't know. Nothing will happen to the
Okay,
remaining 3.
so we have our guest in the studio and we're talking about spice up that boring relationship. If you've been following the boss lady on Boss Life, you would have heard her this week. She's really been talking about some things you can do to spice up the relationship. And this evening, we will actually want to find out really, is it just one side of the relationship, one side of the divide, that is always feeling like the relationship is getting boring? Or is it balanced? Well, we've had answers. And right here, Boss Frederick has said obvious big fat yes. Please,
That one with long tail
I want to
and
have-
2 big branches.
So you're trying to tell us now that the men don't seek attention, or they don't mind if there is attention or no attention.
All right, I think it's actually a matter of on the average, all right, and there are exceptions in everything, all right. So we have situations where it's actually the man that is like always seeking, attention, all right, in the relationship. But on the whole, if you were to take a survey, you would realize that women on the average are actually the ones who actually always seek, that attention. And I want to say that it's not a negative thing, all right? It's not like a bad thing in itself, because when God was creating us, both male and female, there were some coding, all right, that came with that creation.
Attention was part of the.
For women,
I like that.
And generally, you would see that women are more affectionate, women are more loving, women are more caring, and so
We should be giving ourselves. I was Victoria, you're with me.
Yes.
No, we know.
So they are more loving, more caring, more affectionate, and so the issue of affection or attention is part of that mix. All right, you can't remove it. It's part of the coding and the makeup of of the woman, and it's really good. It's really good because for men can just be on overdrive, and then before you know, like she said earlier on, the marriage is going through a lot of stuff, and even the man sometimes men can be so unaware of what the issues are.
Exactly.
And they then look for outlets. Sometimes
boys have night out.
like that. Sometimes even unhealthy outlets.
Yeah.
For the boredom in the house. And so it's really a good thing, when the woman comes and says, no, we can do better with our relationship and we have to spice it up. And so it's really, really, really good. And
in other words, he's trying to say the women are like is it watch? Watch women in the relationship. So it means they should always draw the men's attention to it when they are carried away. Is that what you mean?
Absolutely. I want to say, if you're a woman, you're out there, please don't wait for your husband to initiate. Once it comes to you,
just go ahead.
No, wait. And I want to say this. And this is where women need to also help us as men. That's what my wife is doing. She says, she will come and say, okay, I will tell her that, babe, this is actually your area of strength. And, in every relationship, people have strength. And we need to acknowledge people's area of strength, And so once you know that this is my area of strength, what then happens is that you bring that to bear in the relationship. However, over time, what we then do is that we rub off on each other.
Okay,
right,
we're going to put a peg on your thoughts. Go on this break. When we come back, we'll continue from where you stopped.
I stay still. Love City Live on the radio right here. 26 minutes have gone past the hour of 6 o'clock on the PM side. Welcome. It's good to have you on this production right now. It is the City of Love. I want to ask Boss Victoria a question because Boss Frederick has been hammering it. And some people are thinking now, these people talking about just married people alone and all of that. So let's talk about it now. When you talk about a boring relationship, is it supposed to be only for the married people or every relationship, like people who are courting and all of that? And how necessary and important is spicing up this boringness maybe in courtship or maybe during dating or any other relationship apart from marriage?
For singles, you need to also spice up your relationship, because if you don't do that, it's going to tell on your marriage. If you know how to spice up your relationship, what to do, what to say, where to go while you are in a relationship, even with that, before wedding or before marriage, it will be easy for you to flow like that into your marriage and keep it spiced up. But most singles are fond of maybe just visiting the guy in the house, visiting the lady in the house, going to church or going to one regular normal place that they go to. Then it becomes normal, it becomes ordinary, it becomes stale. But if they are able to know that, let's go to an event, let's go to a concert, let's hang out in several places, then it spices up their relationship. So yes.
Okay. So, all right, the bottom can actually be handled during relationships so that it doesn't get into marriage.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. I think Boss Pierce
asking
for
It is me and Boss Frederick today. It's me and Boss Frederick today.
Take it easy, Pablo.
No,
hey, come on.
What am I doing? Nothing. We're just having having a
Let them
conversation
know,
right
let them know.
here.
The boss
But you
is
know,
listening.
boss, that you can be part of the conversation right now. Are you having some issues? You feel, when I say the light, you don't do like mano light, 1 2 1 2. Yes, and you want to talk about it. You can actually put the calls through to us and let the boss in the house help you go through that relationship saga this evening. Numbers to call would be 0902 922 2944 or 0807 777 3288, and WhatsApp portal number 0901 625 2525. You can actually put the calls through to us or send us the messages right now. And we have a message. Let's quickly read it out before we go on the break. And then when we come back, was Frederick and was Victoria will help answer.
Okay, this one say spice up that boring relationship. Okay, the question is this: how can I spice up my relationship of 5 years? We didn't used to be this boring as now. Our conversation only trends in pleasantries and necessities. Aside that, there isn't any more spark in our relationship. The above is the relationship picture of my childhood friend, Lady B. Good evening, guys. I am Diana from Kano, listening via the website. So,
Boss Diana, thank you so much for sending this message. The reaction to this will come after this break. Let's go. Stay focused.
You're listening to 95.5.
This is a relationship of 5 years.
5 good years.
And it's become boring, no spark anymore. What would be your own suggestion to putting this relationship out of this? 5 years gone. I mean,
And the only thing they do now is just pleasantries.
yes,
And
and school
necessities.
fees,
Wake
yes.
up in the
School
morning.
fees money is time.
School fees. When I don't eat,
And it's just 5 years. Their children have not yet entered the secondary school.
secondary school.
You know, the thing is this, honestly, like I said earlier on, when you don't take care of something, it becomes stale, all right? And it's really, really important. That's what is happening to this couple. And it's important for this to be addressed and to be fixed very quickly. The first thing I would say is that marriage is like a garden. And when God created Adam and Eve, he put them in the Garden of Eden and he told them to tend it. And so marriage is like a garden that you have to tend. You know, if you have a garden that you have certain fruits in and all of that, if you don't tend the garden, weeds will grow. And then before you know, even you as a gardener, you won't be able to go in and pluck out your fruit. And so both of you have a responsibility to tend that garden. And very quickly, one of the things you can do to tend the garden is to make sure that you keep reinventing yourself. It's very, very important. And I know people talk about boredom. One of the things I actually think about boredom in marriage and relationship is because you get to wake up and sleep with the same face every day. And that is where some people get this notion of how can you be eating the same meal or the same food for many years, and then before you know, men start having crazy ideas. The idea is that why that happens is because boredom sets in, because it's the same version of you that you're dealing with, that your spouse is dealing with every year in, year out. And so if you reinvent yourself in the marriage, the spouse will be like, oh, okay, I've never seen this side of you before. You know, and it's both parties. Both parties, you have to keep reinventing yourself. And so when you continue to reinvent yourself, your spouse will be waking up intermittently to a newer version of you, and then that then gets the excitement in the relationship going.
I feel like saying offering time.
So reinvention is actually one of those things that would help. That way, the idea of, okay, the man is going out to look at other women, it's
not there.
It's not there. So when people say you are eating the same amala, I tell them I'm not eating the same amala. Because this thing keeps changing. My wife said,
sometimes I will ask Ginger.
See, I mean, she's changing. I'm seeing a final version of her.
T-shirts.
This amala
It's so beautiful.
it's coming in different modes, in different dishes.
So reinvention is
different
very, very
packages.
important. Reinvent yourself.
Reinvention.
Yes.
Reinvention.
But Victoria, in few minutes, what do you have to add to this?
Another thing is you have to be deliberate with your actions. Some people just do the normal things, but if you deliberately take actions of what you do, how you spend your time. Some people, for example, some ladies are just housewives, and so they just stay at home, and the husband comes back, you ask him for everything. Before you know it will become boring. But if you are like what he said, if you reinvent yourself, maybe you were initially a housewife, then later you started selling pure water in your house, then you added block, then you added drinks. One way or the other, you are contributing. Your husband will always be surprised. In the same way, the husband too, if he was in a particular level in the office or in his business, he could develop himself, and the actions that we take actually makes us come closer with each other.
Actions makes us get closer. We're going to get closer to these actions, but that will be after this time out. Stay with us.
NYG has arrived, and it's time for you to be a part of it.
So within the next minutes,
we're
we're going to know Abuja. We're going to be getting practical, in practical terms. What can we actually do before marriage and during marriage to spice up our relationship? Since it's the ladies that always remember first or get to know first. What do you think? I think Ashanti was.
Let's begin from Boss Victoria. So practical.
Okay, when you notice that as if Oga and you, the thing is not. It's not looking as if people are drinking lukewarm water. Lukewarm water. It's not cold. It's not hot.
It's not hot.
And you will spit it away. What did you start doing?
I spoke. I started with speaking. I expressed myself. I said, oh, this is what I noticed. And I said it in a kind and a calm way. Like I said several times when I've been on this show, that the way you talk is more important than what you are saying or what you have to say. So it's necessary.
Pause. Repeat.
Repeat.
The way you talk is more important than what you actually say. Because some people might want to express themselves, but the way they express themselves actually triggers more anger and all manner of brimstone in the home. But the way you express yourself matters. So that is very, very key. Your words, you need to communicate. You need to tell your husband or your wife what you feel and how you feel about the relationship, how it's going still. Another thing is your actions. I said that earlier. Then your hands. You can use your hands to do so many things. You can hug, you can touch, you can buy gifts. And those are the practical ways to spicing up your relationship. If you don't do that, your relationship will just be boring. But if you deliberately buy yourself gifts, you take yourselves out, you go on a date. Even married people should go on dates as often as possible. Because a lot of people say, now my wife, no matter. Some people won't even express themselves, won't even say I love you, won't even say you are beautiful. Like what we said earlier, that women actually need attention. It's part of us. Imagine a woman going to make her hair or do her nails, and then she comes in, and the husband doesn't even care, or he doesn't even notice. It will pinch her.
My hair is fine today.
It will pinch her like, so I wasted my time, I wasted my money, I wasted my energy to go and look this good, and this man did not even notice. So your words, your actions, and your hands, you can actually buy gifts for each other, and it will spice up your relationship. Should I go on?
Plenty is inside the book. But Cedric, you'll be telling us what you expect. What men, we are now talking for men, what men expect from their pregnant wives and after birth. Because these two periods are very, very sensitive in every relationship.
That's true.
Because the woman, emotions are going everywhere. And then they'll now enter what they call postpartum depression and all that. But you tell us this one when we're back from this break. Don't go anywhere. Stay put.
Still there. So as much as possible, find ways, to still meet those needs in terms of, affection, intimacy, especially around intimacy. So that is very, very important. That's on the side of the woman. But on the side of the man, it's also important for the man to also be understanding. It's important for us to be understanding as men, knowing that once they get into that space, a lot has changed in terms of their biology, the hormones, and all of that, their feelings. And so it's very, very important for men to also be understanding with their wives. And so the kind of intimacy you would get, prior to the pregnancy or the delivery would definitely be different. All right. And so as a man, you have to be understanding, you have to be patient. And it's unfortunate that we get this excuse being made a lot about men going out to cheat while their wives are pregnant. And that's really, really unfortunate. And it's important for men to understand the biology of women. All right. And to say, okay, just
Anything like boredom at all. Is it possible? And if you said it's possible, tell us why. If you say it's not, tell us why.
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
There must be boredom.
There must
Is
be
this
boredom.
is it part of the spices?
Why?
It's natural because there's a tendency that one way or the other somebody will get distracted or somebody will become busy with something, and then the other person will feel, oh, he's taking attention or he's paying attention to something or she's paying attention to. So it's possible. In fact, it's almost impossible not to have boredom in your relationship. But it's it's your deliberate for you to quickly notice and say, no, this has to stop or this has to change. Then you go. For the men, they're supposed to understand that at this particular time it's very challenging for the woman, either because she already has children or it's a new experience for her, and because of her hormones has changed. So he needs to deliberately understand her and make out time to speak with her, understand what she's going through and how best he can help. If it's to help in house chores or provide money for someone to come and do some house chores to reduce the stress on the woman. And then for intimacy, for him to also express his needs. Some women don't even know. Some women, because of what they are going through, they just assume that the men should understand and not even ask for sex at all. So it's necessary that the man expresses himself and let the woman know that, oh, I need this. And then when he says it, it's good for the woman also to know that it's a natural thing to do and it's a good thing to do to keep them bonded and to be close together. In my book, Steps to Marital Bliss, I did mention that there are some sex positions that are good for married or pregnant women that can actually help them enjoy sex maximally. So it's not only the missionary position that should be there.
We will talk about this one. All these position things. We have to talk about it more.
Don't worry. On TV, we'll show you those.
Okay. So aside getting intimate, are there other things that one can do to spice up the relationship during that period?
Yes, if they want to go out, they can go out together. They can go to the movies.
Is it
they
if
can
they
hold
want
hands.
or they should? Is it if they want or
They
they
should have date
Is it
nights.
necessary?
I've already said date nights is
Okay.
necessary. If you can actually go out on a date night, even if she's pregnant, it doesn't matter. You can still have fun, go for a stroll. A woman needs to exercise her body, no matter how big she is, no matter the number of children she's carrying. I have had 3 children, and throughout those periods,
Wow, 3 children.
yes.
And you're looking. Well, don't worry. My camera, you can't see my camera.
Let's
You
go
can't
on a
see.
break.
Don't worry. We're going on a break. All right. But please, can you please help me turn back the hands of time?
So that what will not happen?
Just give us, just give me extra. Just turn it back. Go and start.
If I could turn
The hands of
the hands of time.
Oh, it's not possible right here. You can't do that. You can't do that. All right, okay. As far
Yeah,
as
just started.
crash. In fact, I was crashing just one side.
Mm-hmm.
We've not even crossed small but down. Look at time. But we don't have any choice at this point in time. Let's go to the ladies first. They say. Let's go to Boss Victoria. So everything we've been saying, can you just give us a wrap? Just 1 minute. Just a wrap of your final contribution as far as this topic is concerned.
For you to spice up your relationship, either single. No, let me talk to the married people. Please, single people,
See
hold
somebody,
on,
yeah.
hold on. We'll do another session for you alone. But for the married people, please.
Boss Frederick, you're shaking your head. No, this is 3 against 1 inside the studio. No way.
We're sorry.
Don't worry, calm down.
We're sorry, but
What's wrong with you?
let's do this for the
Don't-
married people
don't
because,
Okay.
like the
Yeah,
message that
see,
came
it's not
in
30
now.
Seconds. It's not
Sorry.
30 seconds.
I've
Please,
learned so much today.
please, for married people, kiss often, touch, hold hands, go out as often as possible. You can watch movies in your house and you can also watch movies in the cinemas. You can go on a stroll. You can display love. You can send messages. There was a group I used to do some time back.
It's wrap up.
And I
It's
said,
wrap up. It's
send
wrap up.
messages to each other daily. Say something nice, something sweet to each other. So these are very important things that you can actually do daily or weekly and it will spice up your relationship, no matter how many years you've been married.
All right,
But
thank you.
Frederick, you were
Little
nodding
but
your head,
mighty.
so your own is
Little
30
but
seconds.
mighty.
30
All
seconds.
right, very, very quickly, I'm just going to run through a few things that I think would be beneficial to you. One, continue to explore mutual interest. All right. The second one is do not stop dating your spouse. All right. Dating does not stop, after marriage. Continue to date your spouse. Buy surprise gifts. That's very important. And then compliment is very important. Like you smell good, you look good. I love you in that dress. I love that tie. I love that jacket. Compliment your spouse. The expression "I love you" is still golden. All right, it can never go stale. So if you can do it every day, do it every day. Send it in a note. Send a message. Just without
Scatter it around your
just
spouse.
I love you. I love you. I love you. Just keep saying that.
It doesn't matter how many times.
And then lastly, I would say understand your spouse's love language
Very
and be
key.
committed to it.
Okay,
Very
we'll talk
key.
about the languages of love sometime.
Let me tell you, boss, I know you have been like, oh no, don't worry. We're continuing the part 2 of this topic next week, Friday.
Shake it for the boss.
Based on
Get ready. All your questions, write them down.
Especially because they did not treat the singles today. That's what we're going to continue next week. Yeah. My single ladies and men gather around. We are going to do it next
All right,
week.
so
Yes. It's been an amazing time right here. And we really
sure.
appreciate you, Boss Frederick, for coming. And Boss Victoria for always having our back. Thank you so very much. Boss, thank you so much for your message all the way from Kano. And thank you so much for listening to Love City today. My name is Peace or Genegbawe. Just call me Gene, the goddess.
All right, thank you. It's good to have you right here in the city of love. My name is Ramsey Agbo, your number one friend on radio.
Till we come back next week, make sure you remain in the city called love. Stay boss.
You're listening to 95.5 Boss FM.